welcome back. How are you doing today?
Great.
Arthur, I have some great news for you. You've done the right thing by coming in. Now, after reviewing your x-rays and the results of our tests, I feel confident that what you have is treatable with chiropractic care. So the good news is you're in the right place at the right time. Now, because what you have is a chiropractic problem, I want to show you some important facts about chiropractic. So I prepared this brochure for you. If you can come in a little closer. All right, as you remember from the video I had you watch, chiropractic is not new. It's not experimental. In fact, it's been around for 100 years. It's been the successful choice of treatment for cases just like yours. In other words, if chiropractic care was not successful, it would have disappeared many years ago. But instead, the opposite is true. The results from chiropractic are so popular and so successful, it's now the second largest healing profession in the Western world. And what's important for you to know, and all this is pointed out in this report I'm going to give you to take home, is that in a study by WebMD on millions of patients for over several years, they have a 95% satisfaction rate with chiropractic. 95%, Arthur. In the medical world of healthcare, it would be impossible to find a better record of success than that. So you can feel confident that you've found the right place for the solution to your problem. All right, so now that we want to talk about what got you here, your condition. Why are you having this pain and why do you feel this way? First, it wasn't one thing. It wasn't one turn or twist that made this go wrong. It didn't start the day the pain started. It has been building up over time and is caused by the accumulation of many events in your life that was hard on your structural system. In fact, it started with the trauma of childbirth. It has continued through the hundreds of falls and spills and accidents that you experienced as a child and teenager.
Never fell in my life.
You never fell? You're very lucky. I think you fell last Saturday. Add that lifestyle to the one you have now, Arthur, and it would be impossible to know the improper lifting and physical trauma events that you experience over your adult years. That's why I say it's not one event. You have years of wear and tear, and keep in mind that was with absolutely no prevention, no treatment, and no care. No efforts to offset that wear and tear. What if, as an example, what if, Arthur, you've never brushed your teeth and you've never been to a dentist? Nothing from the time you were born until now. What kind of condition would your teeth be in? What if you had a car where the tires were not properly aligned or balanced? A blowout would be inevitable. Through your years, you've experienced an innumerable amount of nerve damage, as you can see here, tissue damage, and you have left it virtually untreated. You are really lucky that you are not in more pain than you are. So what's all the result of this untreated activity and damage? All right. The result is your spine has spent years of being pulled and pushed out of alignment by the events of your lifestyle, applying pressure to these gentle discs and squeezing them closer together, causing less flexibility, irritation, swelling, and pinching these nerves to flow out from those vertebrae. The technical term is this big word up here called subluxation. Your nerves are being pinched and prohibited from their normal function of communication with the rest of the body. Study this chart here, right here, and you will see some of these problems occur from subluxations in different regions of the spine. I think you will find it fascinating. Your nerves run from the brain and communicate the brain's commands to all organs and parts of the body. It is how the body knows how to function. If the body loses communication from the brain, it loses function. And when those nerves are pinched, it is the same effect that a water hose gets when it's pinched and the water flow is stopped. That's how nerve flow is stopped and your body's communication is cut off, and the result is dis-ease. So subluxation can cause more than just back or neck problems. It can cause many other types of disease as well. Now there are 4 phases of spinal degeneration right here, as you can see. Just as conditions that you're more familiar with, like cancer, the more you let your problems go, the worse the problems become. So it's important to start treating and preventing any further stages of degeneration. I would put you between a 3 and a 4, Arthur, with your degeneration. So I'm going to circle that.
And how you base me?
Well, let me show you your x-rays. Okay, so here's your x-rays on the screen, so you can see what I'm talking about. Since you can't take these x-rays on, you do have the disc, but I'm going to show you on this page. I'm going to circle an area on the report which I feel most exemplifies the stage you're in. So if you see on this x-ray, do you see these little points on the x-ray? Those are arthritis. You have a lot of those, and 2 of your bones are almost completely touching, which is why, like you asked, told you what stage you were in. Okay, I think I've spent enough time describing the cause of your problem that you have. Does that all make sense to you?
Sure.
You kind of see it on the x-ray. So let's move into the most important part, the part that you really care about, the solution to your problem. Arthur, I've already pointed out to you that your health problems have not been caused by one event or one wrong move. It's not something you did yesterday. Just as you didn't cause the problem in one day, we won't fix it in a day either. The solution is a series of treatments to put your back into alignment, and we call those adjustments. Now, your orthodontist can't reach into your mouth and pull your teeth and put them in the proper place in one visit. And it takes a series of visits over time that gets those teeth to be in proper alignment. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. The truth is your spine has been misaligned so long that it actually considers that to be normal. We're going to retrain your spine. We will adjust your spine, and frankly, it will readjust to where it was. Just like kind of 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Then we will continue to adjust your back until we have the spine retrained in proper alignment. That is why it's very important you follow the prescribed visits or adjustments to a T. Don't miss, kind of like exercise, so we can retrain that spine and get your health back. Can you see why that's important? The number of treatments and the timing of those treatments are essential to your restoration. So I've divided your treatment plan into 3 parts. The first part is obvious, pain relief. We want to get you out of pain. Now, every person responds a little differently in the first phase of care, but your treatment will include treatments every day this week and 3 times a week for the next 2 weeks. We will also be applying some therapies to supplement those adjustments. I feel confident at the end of this phase, you'll be feeling good, you'll be out of pain, you'll be thinking problem solved. But Arthur, let me tell you now, that's not the case. Your condition is at the point where it's so fragile that although it's true you're not in pain, which is awesome, any wrong lift or turn, almost any event, could set you back to where you are or possibly worse. So that's why the second stage of care is even more important than the first. The stabilization phase of care. We want to stabilize your condition so that you're not in a fragile state any longer. Now, before we start the stabilization phase, we're going to do a progress exam so that we need to make sure that you're ready for the stabilization phase, and we'll do that exam to see that you need less care than we originally thought, and if you need that, we'll be anxious to do something about that. If you're ready to graduate to the second phase of care, the stabilization phase is much easier for you. So I only need you to come in for a series of adjustments for 2 times a week for those 3 weeks. At that time, based on the many cases I've treated like yours, I believe you'll be in a stabilized condition. We will once again do a short progress exam to make sure that's the case. Once we consider your condition stabilized, we'll move you to the phase 3 stage of care. That's prevention stage. Now, why is this stage essential to your health, Arthur? Because, Arthur, we have one problem that we have in treating your cases. We have 2 problems, but now we have one. The one problem we have with treating your case is we have not eliminated the cause. You're not going to stop running. You're not going to stop lifting your kids. You're not going to stop lifting the heavy bag that you carry. You're not stopping the very causes that brought you here in the first place. You're still doing the very things that cause subluxations. As with your teeth, if you got them clean, wouldn't it be great if they stayed that way? But if you do that, you would never be able to eat again, which isn't going to happen. So, instead of having them cleaned every week and maintained, you're not going to stop your activities that degenerate your spine and skeletal system, and we wouldn't expect you to. But this time, instead of allowing wear and tear to wear you down where you can't move, we're going to provide treatments which will counteract that wear and tear. Okay? Prevention is always wiser than overhaul. Wellness care is always better than sickness care. We will make a recommendation at that time when we get to that point. Okay, so wellness is what you want, wellness is what you need, and that's what we're going to provide. But in order for you to get to that condition, where there's a few things I'm going to need from you. All right. First of all, I'm going to need you to make all your treatment times. As we described earlier, it is the number of treatments and the frequency that makes chiropractic work for you. Secondly, I need you to attend a special class that is essential to your health and well-being. It also happens to be a topic I think you're really going to enjoy. It's called the How to Stay Young class for the first 100 years, and I have your tickets here with me. I've included some for your family because if your family could attend, they would really benefit from this as well. We have 2 times this week. It's being taught Tuesday night at 6:30 and Wednesday at 12:30. Which one of those would work for you?
6:30.
6:30? Awesome. I'm going to put that down for Julie. All right. So today, all we have left is Julie is going to get those treatment times scheduled, and your reservation for the How to Stay Young class will be put in our book. Now, unless you have any more questions for me, I am ready to get started with your care. Are you ready?